everyone, and welcome back to the Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers YouTube channel. I'm John Mark Young, and today we have a very special guest. As a matter of fact, we're doing something we have never done before. We're interviewing one of our team members live on one of our videos just so that you can get to know them a little bit better. And this is someone that I am thrilled to announce to all of you. As you know, our team at Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers is committed to providing you with exceptional financial planning and wealth management services. And we're always growing to meet those needs, partly because you as a client demand it, partly because Dave Ramsey and his team demand it. As with us being one of their national smart investors, we need to be at the top of our game, and they expect that from us. And today we're welcoming on this video, so you can get to know him a little bit better, our newest member of our leadership team, Tim Hilterman. Now, he's joining us as our Chief Financial Planning Officer. And Tim brings years of experience and a passion for helping clients achieve their financial goals and what they're trying to do from a biblical worldview, which is one of the things we just love about him. And we're going to just have him share a little bit about his journey, his vision for financial planning at Whitaker-Myers, and what excites him most about working with all of you, many of you being Dave Ramsey followers and basically biblical finance followers as well. So without further ado, let's dive in and let's get to know Tim a little bit better. So Tim, it's great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us on the video today.
Yeah, thanks. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. I'm very excited to join the team, to get to know all of you. So thanks a lot for having me here.
Yeah. Now, before we dive into the 10 questions we're going to ask Tim, if we can informally already title this video, 10 questions for Tim, let's actually make an 11th question. And Tim, tell the listeners a little bit about your family and just a little bit about your personal life here.
Yeah, sure. Well, first and foremost, I am a sinner saved by grace. As many of you know, our only hope is in Jesus Christ. My identity is in him as a Christian, and everything good comes from his hands. So that's where everything starts with me. I'm a lucky man. I'm married to a wonderful woman of 18 years now, and we have 7 children. So life is a blast. Oldest right now is 16, youngest is 3. So life is amazing at home. It's very busy, but it's full of good things. And I'm sure you're going to learn more about my background here in a little bit.
Yeah, the busyness is something that you probably someday, at least what we hear from all of our older clients, you miss. You're in the middle of it, and the days are long, but the years are short. And so yeah, you are definitely hopping each day with all your kids.
That's right. Yep.
So, and people should know, Tim, you and I are a little bit alike in that we both married into the local church that we're a part of today. You maybe found your wife there, and I kind of found my wife there. Maybe I found her at the finish line, so not far from there when we were in college working. But we both married into a wonderful local church. And shout out to our pastors, Jeremy, Andrew, and Luke, who do a great job of shepherding our local church.
Absolutely. I was just a young single man until I found that girl at church. It's a good place to find a girl, by the way.
Yeah, more and more we hear clients that are. I always ask people, how did you meet your spouse? And that is definitely a major answer that I get is yeah, I met him at church. And a lot of them today are meeting people on a Christian dating website as well too, to meet somebody that has a kind of a worldview that aligns with you. But yeah, we did it the old-fashioned way. That was the only way to do it back then. So but technology has improved a lot of things, including dating, I guess, a little bit. So
exactly.
Yeah, and maybe not something that we planned on talking about, Tim, but your wife's father, so your father-in-law is maybe he was a financial advisor for many years. What role did he actually play in your interest in this? Because this wasn't always your gig. It's been your gig for a long time, but it wasn't always the thing you did. And so how did that relationship with your wife and then your father-in-law play into where you are today?
Yeah, so my background is I went to Grove City College in Pennsylvania, studied electrical engineering, and I loved it. I worked in that field for 11 years. I was a lead engineer at Sprint, and it was good work. But around 2008, I believe, I started working with my father-in-law on the side. He's part of a life insurance company at that time, just helping people out with big questions like, do I need life insurance? How much do I need? What's the best product for me? And I really enjoyed and loved the impact that he had on families' lives. He made a meaningful difference and helped them answer complicated questions and brought a lot of peace to their family, but also had a way of leading them through discussions of things that are sometimes complicated, sometimes scary, uneasy. But I just really appreciated and saw the impact that he was having on the community, on his fellow church members, and clients loved him, and he was looked up as a trusted advisor, and I really appreciated that. And I, in a lot of aspects, wanted to do that myself.
Yeah, no doubt. Very much the reason why Dave calls his class Financial Peace is when you have somebody shepherding you in that way, as Dave does in that class and as we do locally with our clients, there is a huge level of peace that you bring to people when you do that well and you do it from the heart of a teacher. So let's get into these questions, Tim, a little bit here. And so the first one, of course, is you're here now. You recently made the move to Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. You took this leadership role, this new role for us as the chief financial planning officer here to work with the 13 different financial advisors and then all the support staff that we have to help make the client experience great. And now you're a part of that, and in that, what inspired you to take on that role of chief financial planning officer here at Whitaker-Myers?
I think it was a progression. As I mentioned, I was in the life insurance industry, and there's nothing wrong with being a life insurance salesman, but I was frustrated with only being able to address one part of a person's financial picture. And I got some great advice early on. I was encouraged to go out and pursue one of the most rigorous and recognized certifications in the financial industry. That's a certified financial planner certification. And in order to achieve that certification, you have to be an expert really in 7 different areas of a person's financial life. And you need to be able to accumulate and compile a comprehensive plan for a person or a family and lead them through not only just life insurance or maybe investments, but all aspects of their financial life. And after getting that certification, I was able to put that into practice for years and years and years. I gained a lot of valuable experience in that. I saw a lot of different scenarios, and I'm very honored to join the Whitaker-Myers Wealth Management team to be able to take our financial advice and our financial planning to the next level. Work with these 13 very fantastic advisors and really start looking at the complete picture of each one of our clients' financial lives. And I'm very excited to do that.
Yeah. And that person that gave you that advice, we should definitely give a shout out to Michael Sparks, who of course passed away way too young, but definitely for younger financial advisors like you and I at the time, definitely somebody we could look up to and say he's doing it the right way. He's built a wonderful practice. His clients adored him. He gave the advice. He gave that financial piece we talked about earlier. So yeah, just a great piece of advice he gave to you back then, no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely. And you never know what impact just a simple conversation will have. But Michael took time out of his very busy schedule, have lunch with me, offer me that advice, and it really changed my life and consequently everyone that I get to work with. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. His daughter was one of my favorite basketball players for my wife, who's a high school basketball coach. And so, yeah, definitely a great family all around there. So now let's transition. So you're in this chief financial planning officer role. You're going to be working with our 13 advisors, and we have 6 and soon to be 7 associate advisors, younger advisors that are aspiring to become financial advisors one day in the future there. what's your envision for helping them enhance the financial planning offering, services, just the way we deliver advice and the way we deliver plans to our clients?
Well, your financial life is made up of many, many different aspects. When you think about finances, a lot of times you focus in on just your investments, or here's my 401k, or maybe I need to get my budget in order. But really, there's so much involved in your financial life. I mean, think about, if I just read off a few, think about your life insurance, long-term disability. Do I have a will or do I need a trust? There's lots of advanced planning tactics like a backdoor Roth or catch-up contributions. For those retirees, should I do a qualified charitable distribution? The list just goes on and on. And being able to capture all of these things in one role, share information and experience across the team, and then standardize a process of, hey, let's create a plan basically for all of our clients, because any investment decision is going to impact so many different pieces of their financial life. Having a plan is going to put it all together and roll that out in a big way for all of our clients.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And certainly, when I think about planning, it's just one of those things where it takes time to do that, and it's certainly not done in a day, in a week, in a month. And that's where, if I'm trying to look for a financial advisor, one of the things I'm looking for is that you're not just trying to one and done me. You're not trying to sell me a product, trying to get something done and just move on to the next, but you actually want to be engaged in the success, financial success, and probably more than that, but definitely the financial success of my life and my family's life. That's why I'm hiring you. That's why I want you to be part of my team, so to speak, as a family team there. And so that financial planning process really is what, if done well, does say to the client, we want to be engaged in all areas of your life financially to improve you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you pointed on a good aspect is uh, maybe not just the initial advice is pertinent, but coming back to and reviewing that plan, seeing if anything has changed. For example, I'm a huge fan of Roth out there. I want my dollars to grow tax free. But at some point, as you get closer to retirement, really the decision changes a little bit, because you could maybe save more in taxes and a pre-tax as you're very close to retirement, and just a few years later, pull it out in a lower tax bracket. So there's those types of decisions that change as your life progresses, and having a financial plan, being able to review that, not only gives you insight into those particular pieces, but it can really make a difference.
Yeah, no doubt. That was one of the favorite my one of my favorite articles I ever wrote was thinking about Roth contributions for the pre-retiree, the 60-year-old retiree, or somewhere in that range is, yeah, maybe you don't want to, because in a few years you might be able to do the same thing at a much lower rate. And so, yeah, that's just, the advice you're getting from your planner at age 30 and 40, yeah, could be and probably should be different. And that's why, yeah, that whole process is beautiful when it's done over time and consistently. The one of the things that we had an award that we were put up for, and they asked us this question. I thought this is a great question, and so I'm going to ask you this question, which is what are, when you think about your career and all the folks that trust you and lean on you as their advisor, what are some of the most rewarding or some impactful experiences that you can look back on and say, those are the things that prepared me for this role today, the role of, leading our entire team in this aspect of really solid biblical financial planning.
I'd say this career is a great honor. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. We need to keep up to date on all the changes in our industry. We need to truly understand and continue to gain education and experience in each one of our disciplines, but it's a great privilege to be able to work with somebody, give them a plan, and give them a path that brings, and this going back to the Dave Ramsey, financial peace. Because in today's world, finances can be so confusing. They can be so they can really get you worked up, especially if you're in a situation where you have a lot of debt and you're trying to juggle maybe debt, maybe your career, maybe family, and sometimes you start thinking about everything and it becomes overwhelming and you're just paralyzed. You don't know where to go. So working with some individuals, really, it's been the most impactful part of my career to be able to say, hey, here's your current situation. It's not bad at all. And here's the path to becoming debt free. Here's the path to paying that off quickly. Here's the path to saving for retirement. Here's some things that you need to think about as far as life insurance and protecting your loved ones. And for clients to see that plan and embrace it and be able to just rest easy after capturing their own plan and knowing the path of the steps they need to take to become successful. It's made a true meaningful impact in their lives, and it's been an honor to do that.
Yeah, 100%. So how would you describe your philosophy as it comes to like working with clients, or maybe asked a better way? Um, when you're working with a client, how would you ensure that their financial goals, you're meeting them, you're exceeding them, you're doing, what they're ultimately hiring you to do?
Part of that is my responsibility to lead them in a conversation and draw out what they truly want of their finances. Sometimes I'll have a client approach me and say, "Hey, here's some money, an investment account. I want you to take care of it." And it just opens up a whole discussion of, well, what are these dollars for? Are these retirement dollars? Are these dollars that you hope to grow and maybe buy a house with or pass on to your kids? And uh, start to explore that, because it's not just a product that we want to place our clients in. It's not just a one-time investment advice or even a investment account that we want to manage. It's what are these dollars going to do for you, and what do they mean? So in this role as a certified financial planner and as a independent advisor, registered investment advisor, it's, I think, our best way to act as a fiduciary, which means we're not just trying to make a sale. We're not trying to earn a commission. That's what I found a little bit in that life insurance arena. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but I think it's better to be solely focused on what's best for our clients, and not only for today, but as we're talking, what's going to fit in their financial plan and be most appropriate, bring them the most peace. So sometimes that's helping them make sure they have an emergency fund before investing aggressively or paying off their debt, getting themselves into the place where they're making as much, I call it financial momentum, as
Yeah,
possible. They're heading in the right direction as quickly as possible.
yeah. Snowballing, if you will,
Hmm.
their financial lives. Uh, and as that snowball picks up, it gets even better and bigger. So one of the things that we have a little clarity on now, at least we think we do, is President Trump's been reelected, and that was the big what if in the financial planning world was if he doesn't get reelected, what happens to the Jobs and Tax Act of 2017? Do we need to realign planning for that and charitable and do you reevaluate your Roth contributions because of that? Of course, we think we have some clarity on that now that he's been reelected. The point is, the financial planning industry and the advice we have to give is always evolving and it's always changing. So are there any trends or challenges you see out there right now, and how do you think clients would prepare for that?
Well, I think what you point to, an election and the results of an election, those are uh, just nuts and bolts of the tax law. How are tax brackets going to go? What's the state tax exemption? Is that going to grow or shrink? And how do we react towards that? And those things are always coming down the line. And we obviously, as experts and professionals, we are the ones to understand that and process that and apply that as best as we can to our clients' different positions. But I think when we talk about financial planning, I think one of the biggest trends that I see and something that I'm most interested to grow as our team is the behavioral part of finance.
Yeah.
Because we can make a recommendation, we can do a financial plan, but how the client embraces that for themselves and is able to stick to the plan, if you will. I'll give you an example. In times when the market drops dramatically, do we have the right portfolio where we have the emotional stability to maybe we're a little bummed that our account's going down, but can we still have faith that our plan is going to work out and stick to the plan? So that's the behavioral part. And that's a lot of our job is not only applying the numbers, but helping a client grasp the reality of finances, help them understand market trends and things go up and go down, and walk them through every aspect of their financial life. So that behavioral part is very important. And I think we as advisors need to get better and better at that.
Yeah. You make me think about the Vanguard Advisor Alpha study where, Vanguard, who's like so well known for, hey, come do it yourself. Depart your advisor, especially if you have a high cost, advisor that's not adding value to you. Depart your advisor, come to us, Vanguard. We'll keep your costs low. You can Vanguard total stock market and relax, type of thing. But they did this study where they looked at advisor-led accounts that had a financial advisor, and then non-advisor-led accounts, self-managed accounts by people. And there was a 3% difference. And of course, my mind instantly goes to Tim.
Huge.
Yeah, it's because we're so smart at investing. We're just like these brainiacs that have all this knowledge, and people do pay us for our knowledge, and we should be knowledgeable. But being knowledgeable about something like investments that sometimes blows with the wind, there's no control over that, is a hard thing to do. And so that was not the answer, of course. The answer was that 3%, nearly half of it, was behavioral finance, was you and I helping people do the right thing and doing the right thing on the front end, which to your point is so true, because there's been times where I thought I had the right portfolio, but once we lived it, that was not livable for that person. They were not able to do that. And that's just so important. But that was the value that Vanguard said, hey, these guys and gals that, that are good at planning and good at giving advice and good at, being a team member on your financial team, they're going to add value to you. And it's not going to be because they're picking the right stocks. It's because behaviorally, they're going to help you do the right thing at the right time. And that is so much easier said than done. And we can see it when we look at Morningstar fund flows and we see, hey, when 2022, worst year since '08, did people put money into mutual funds or did they take it out? And almost to a man and to a woman, even the very best funds, they're constantly losing money in a year where the stock market is down 20%. And that's not wise, but that is what actually happens, unfortunately.
That's right. Yep.
So yeah, no doubt about it there. Now, we're certainly not breaking ground in terms of, really putting an emphasis on financial planning. There are other firms that do that, and that's good. We all want to cheer on our industry as getting more focused on the client and more focused on planning. But what strategies do you think, when you think about Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers, what sort of things would make our planning process just a little bit different as we try to create these personalized financial plans for our clients?
Well, I think a lot of it can be tied to our recognition and our incorporation of Dave Ramsey's principles. And we just spoke to it when it came to behavioral finance. When you walk out Dave Ramsey's baby steps, you are setting someone up for success in their financial future for a number of reasons. I mean, first, you're working very hard at getting out of debt, and debt can be a cause of uh, worry for folks because of their debt load and their income fluctuation. They might make what's to them very bad investment decisions. They might have to, for example, pull some money out of an IRA at a bad time. They might get nervous about their investments more so than somebody who's out of debt. And when you build the house, if you will, the way Dave Ramsey does, you have an emergency fund. You have a way that you have a plan of investing and you have a certain goal of how much you want to invest and incorporate that with this comprehensive financial plan that we would produce. You have a very clear path of building a personalized plan. And I think that's something that's going to set and does set Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers apart, is that process.
Yeah. Yeah, your order of operations, your baby steps is 100% the way that if we had our druthers, people would organize their financial life there. Now, so you're stepping into this leadership role, and you've got these financial advisors, associate advisors, this really skilled team. How can clients expect you to be working with their advisors, or even themselves, the end client, to continue delivering what we hope has been exceptional service, but even lifting that even higher?
Yeah, so right off the bat, I'll be involved personally in creating many of the financial plans here. So I have a lot of capacity to do so and experience in doing that. We have software that we can leverage to produce those very effectively and distribute those. And I'll be working with your advisor to create your plan. In addition to that, we are going to continue, we already do, but we're going to continue to collaborate on our various viewpoints and our various experience in this field. I mean, our advisors already meet once a week and share knowledge with each other. So we're coming into different scenarios, some that maybe people haven't seen before, and we navigate that and we come back together and we share that knowledge so that we can distribute that across our firms. And that's much different than just working with a single do-it-yourself advisor. As much experience and skill as that individual has, there's just a very great strength to be able to work as a team and come together and share knowledge in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, my experience and career has been part of a big team, starting Whitaker-Myers by myself and one other advisor, almost no team, and then having a team again, a team of, as of today, 32 different professionals, and yeah, the camaraderie, the advice sharing, the knowledge sharing. It would be hard to be alone. And even the people that I think are alone, what you see is they're out there searching for that with other, within the financial planning community. That's why we have a group that gets together, in Columbus for the financial planning community, in Cleveland, all over the country, really, because that is definitely a huge part of making the client experience better. Now, we're big on content. We love content. We love creating content. Hey, we're creating content today for our clients to learn a little bit more about you. But the reason we want to do that is because we think content creates education. Client education is probably one of the big keys to successful financial planning. Is when somebody understands the what, the why, they make better decisions, more informed decisions. And we've put so much emphasis on it. We've actually made it one of our core values to have the heart of a teacher. We spend time on that as a team, all of our core values, but certainly that one. And then we try to, like we do with our faith, practically live them out, those core values. We don't want them to be things we say or things that are on a website, but they're actually things that we're actually doing so that they are truly a core value. So what are some ways that you think you'll be able to empower our clients with the knowledge that they need to make successful and strong financial decisions?
Well, I'm excited to launch a weekly YouTube video. Like you said, we create content. Um, I'll be doing YouTube videos on a regular basis, and it will be new for me. I'm excited to do that and be able to share in a unique way where clients or individuals can go out, consume this data. What I want to provide in those videos is not just information. I mean, anyone can Google something or read an article and get information, but I want to be able to somebody to consume that and apply that information in a meaningful way. I want them to get a nugget of wisdom that they can take, put into practice, that will give them not only financial peace. I think that's what we're all about, is giving our clients the ability to navigate this financial life in a way that is God honoring and provides peace to yourself, but hopefully in a way that's inspiring. And I like to say the more my clients understand, they don't have to be experts on the market, for example, but the more that they understand the market and have experience that seeing the ups and downs, the more they're going to be comfortable with it. And the more that they'll embrace that. And so that's part of the value I want to provide, hopefully, in the coming weeks and years, is when you watch one of my videos, you're going to understand something in a new way, be able to apply that, and hopefully get a little bit of inspiration from that.
Yeah. And we should absolutely give a shout out to our friend Summit Puri right now, who does our What We Learned in the Markets video each week, who tries to do that on the investment side for sure, and does an excellent job, in my opinion, of that. Now, let's two more questions. Let's do one client-faced one, and then let's get back to you a little bit here, Tim. But one of the things that we know is a problem in the world today, probably forever. It's always been this, is kind of immediate satisfaction. And we definitely have probably more of it today because we can get immediate satisfaction right on our phones as it relates to spending money and blowing up our sometimes our financial picture just for a short term burst of happiness that doesn't last. So when you think about balancing your long-term goals with, nobody wants to be the person that's like living on rice and beans forever, right? Dave says you live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. And that's not to say, hey, you're on rice and beans, so you can later be on rice and beans. It's hopefully so you give yourself freedom and flexibility. So how do you approach the challenge in the financial planning process of balancing, like, hey, you do need to do the long-term stuff along with give yourself some freedom to do the short-term stuff, do the things that you want to do, some more of the wants than necessarily the needs?
Yeah, I think when it comes to long-term versus short-term, I hate to repeat myself, but coming back to that long-term financial plan gives you a perspective and inspiration to push through some short-term pain. And for example, going out to eat is a perfect one. It's fun to take the family out and splurge every once in a while. But if that's your go-to and you're spending a lot of money doing that, when you have a plan of, hey, I want our family to move from here to here and create that financial momentum in our lives, we're willing to do without the going out to eat. We're willing to have some cheaper meals or get on a budget to push through that. But you're not going to be able to sustain that unless you see the end, like you said, the end in your sights. So when you have that long-term vision, that gives you the wherewithal and the ability to stay inspired, stay focused, because you know that it is temporary. You can get through it, and you can push through some pretty significant things. Even Dave Ramsey's baby steps, going to pay off your house, and that might not take just a couple months. It might take a couple years.
Yeah.
But you're willing to do that because you see the vision of, when I pay off my house, now I can pay myself that house payment, and I can not only put that in my investments if I want to, but I can use that to do things. I can give in a different way. I can plan some trips that I wasn't able to plan for before and pay cash for them. And you just have that ability to stay focused for longer.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting too, because you have some people that, they struggle with, the here and now in terms of, yeah, they do want to spend, like they're in Congress and you got to get them to focus on the long term and get them within where they need to be. And again, the baby steps, yes, they help people do that. I was talking to somebody 2 days ago, and it was interesting because they were the exact opposite. They were telling me about their business partner who is more of what we would call the free spirit, spends money and has and loves spending money and has a lot of nice things and it doesn't do it imprudently. But then this gentleman was saying, I have done so well and I get no satisfaction out of spending because I've just been so tight my whole life. And so now I've got all this and I can't enjoy any of it there. And so it's that dichotomy of anything. It's like what do you need in life probably more than anything? You need balance, and just like Rachel Cruz says, the budget gives you the freedom to spend without guilt, and it also should restrict you in some ways. It's got to
Yeah.
it's got to tell you what you need to do from the long term, from the savings perspective, your baby step forward type stuff. You're going to need a new car at some point. You're going to probably want to go on vacation. Those are things that just don't get magically paid for. You've
Right.
got to plan for that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just an interesting dichotomy between those two types of personalities you'll meet.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I think something that you're going to hear from me, and I'll just say sorry, not sorry, is always bring a biblical perspective into it, because the Lord gives us these good things. All of our money, all of our gifts are come down from the Father of heavenly lights. He gives us everything that we have, and we are to enjoy that. We are to enjoy our life and give God the glory for that. We're also to use those finances in a responsible way. We shouldn't be putting ourselves in a situation where we're spending more than we're making, and we should always prioritize using our finances to help other people and to be generous and to give. And at the same time, like you said, John Mark, hold these things loosely. Money is only uh, it's only money. It doesn't matter how big our bank account is and how much we have when we die. We need to use it for God's glory, and we'll get enjoyment out of that. But you have to keep the right perspective about it all.
Yeah, amen. No doubt. And so on that note, um, and maybe that is the answer, what you just said, but what drives you in your work? What's the thing that motivates you, that gets you out of bed every morning and saying I love what I do? What's behind that?
Yeah, my dad always said, you want to get up in the morning saying, I get to go to work, not I have to go to work. And I am certainly blessed to have this job and career where I am energized and excited every day to come to work, because the world of finance can be so intimidating and so confusing. And I was one of those individuals. I didn't understand what a mutual fund was. And why would I put money in it? And sometimes when the market's going down, that's scary. And how do you navigate that? And many individuals, it's not anyone's fault, but they don't have the ability to perceive the big picture. So being able to be a professional, being able to have that perspective that I can bring to clients, they don't have to look at the investments. They don't have to decide what stocks to buy and figure out even in their 401k. Man, I got to put money in here, but what do I do with it? Um, we can be the ones to come alongside them. It's their journey to walk, but we can be their trusted advisor. We can help them with each step of the way, give them clarity and give them inspiration. And that's just a huge, huge privilege that I love and I'm thankful to do each and every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Not something you take lightly, but something that's a blessing to have. And yeah, so Tim, this was great. You are really, we are really blessed to have you, and thank you for taking a part of your day here, your busy schedule, and spending 10 questions with Tim with me, and letting folks get to know you a little bit better. We'll look forward to watching those videos that you generate, and I'm sure clients will look forward to engaging with you in the near future. So thanks again for joining us today.
Yep, absolutely.
And a reminder to all of our listeners, if you would like to meet with any of our financial advisors or our financial coaches, you can go to the comment section of this video where you'll see a link there. And in that link, you can schedule with the financial coaches who help you in baby steps 1, 2, and 3, get out of debt, stay out of debt, live debt free, and our financial advisors who help you in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. So eventually you can get to baby step 7 where you can live and give like no one else. And if this video was helpful to you, you can do us a favor by hitting the like and the subscribe button. The like button allows our content to be pushed out to more people, and the subscribe button allows you to get the content as we release it on YouTube and Rumble, as well as any of our monthly webinars we're doing. And this month's webinar, which we'll be doing in a few days here, is with our CPA from Whitaker-Myers Tax Advisors, Cage Rush. He's going to talk about what you need to plan for your 2024 taxes, what to think about for 2025 as it relates to taxes. And Cage, Tim, and I will spend a little bit of time talking about some unique tax things you can do as it relates to giving to further the mission of things you care about, probably faith-based things and enhancing the kingdom, as well as improving your tax situation through that. So we'll walk you through a brief scenario there. That's going to be a webinar you don't want to miss. So reach out to your financial advisor to get an invite for that, or you can catch that replay on YouTube as we release it. So thanks so much for watching this week's video. We'll look forward to seeing you very soon.